Have you ever noticed the smartest person in the room is rarely the loudest? While everyone else is trying to be heard, they're simply watching, listening, thinking, and somehow they always seem to have the most influence. Why? Because intelligence doesn't need attention, it needs understanding. The modern world teaches us to speak more, post more, argue more, prove ourselves to strangers. But nearly 2,000 years ago, the Stoics discovered something completely different. They believed every unnecessary word costs you a piece of your power. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth. He had every reason to constantly prove his authority, yet history remembers him not for endless speeches, but for his calm judgment, his patience, and his silence, because he understood a truth that most people spend their entire lives ignoring. The louder your ego becomes, the quieter your wisdom grows. Think about your own life. How many times have you said something you later wished you hadn't? How many arguments started with one unnecessary sentence? How many opportunities were lost simply because someone spoke before they thought? Words cannot be taken back. Once they leave your mouth, they no longer belong to you. That is why the Stoics believed silence is not empty. It is full of strength. Today, you'll discover why intelligent people choose silence over noise, why they listen more than they speak, why they rarely argue, and why staying quiet can make you more respected, more disciplined, and far more powerful. Let's begin with the first lesson. Lesson 1. Silence gives you power. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is talking at once. Everyone wants attention. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants the final word. Now imagine one person who says almost nothing. They simply observe. When they finally speak, the entire room becomes quiet. Have you ever wondered why? Because people value what is rare, and in today's world, silence has become rare. The Stoics understood that speaking less makes your words carry more weight. Every unnecessary sentence reduces your influence. Every thoughtful pause increases it. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak." That wasn't just good manners. It was a strategy, because the person who listens learns. The person who never stops talking only repeats what they already know. True intelligence begins the moment you become more interested in understanding than in being understood. Think back to the last person who truly impressed you. Was it the one who talked without stopping, or the one who spoke only when it mattered? Most people confuse talking with confidence. The Stoics knew they are not the same. Confidence doesn't shout, it doesn't interrupt, it doesn't compete for attention. It remains calm, even in a room full of noise. Marcus Aurelius never needed to prove he was powerful. His actions spoke louder than his words. That's the hidden power of silence. It allows your character to speak for you. The moment you stop explaining yourself, people begin paying closer attention, because mystery creates curiosity, and curiosity creates respect. The person who constantly explains often appears uncertain, but the person who speaks with purpose appears confident. Remember this: every unnecessary word is energy you can never recover. Save your words for moments that truly deserve them, because silence isn't the absence of communication. It's the presence of self-control. Lesson 2. Observe more than you speak. Most people enter a conversation already thinking about what they want to say next. Very few actually listen. They hear words, but they never understand people. This is why so many misunderstandings exist. The Stoics believed observation is a form of intelligence. Before speaking, study the room. Watch people's expressions, notice their emotions, pay attention to what isn't being said, because human beings reveal far more through actions than through words. Imagine a skilled chess player. Before making a move, they observe the entire board. They don't rush. They don't panic. They simply watch. Life works exactly the same way. Every conversation is like a chessboard. The person who observes usually sees opportunities that everyone else misses. Epictetus taught, "You cannot learn what you think you already know." Think about that. If you're always talking, when will you ever learn? Every person you meet knows something. You don't, but you'll never discover it if you're busy hearing only your own voice. Intelligent people don't enter conversations to impress others. They enter to understand them, and that single habit quietly gives them an advantage most people never notice. Lesson 3. Control your emotions before your words. Most people don't lose opportunities because they're unintelligent. They lose them because they speak. When emotions are in control, one moment of anger can destroy years of trust. One emotional reaction can ruin a valuable relationship. The Stoics understood that words spoken in anger rarely solve problems. They usually create new ones. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You always have the choice not to react." Think about that. Between every event and every response, there is a small moment, a pause. That pause is where wisdom lives. Weak people react instantly. Strong people choose their response. Imagine someone insults you. Most people immediately defend themselves. They argue, raise their voice, try to win. But intelligent people ask a different question. Is this worth my peace? Most of the time, the answer is no, because not every opinion deserves your attention, and not every criticism deserves your response. The greatest victory isn't proving someone wrong. It's refusing to let them control your emotions. The moment you master your reactions, you become impossible to manipulate. That is the quiet strength of a disciplined mind. Lesson 4. Never reveal every plan. There is a strange habit shared by many successful people. They work quietly long before they celebrate publicly. Most people do the opposite. They announce every goal, every idea, every dream before taking the first step. The Stoics warned against this, not because success should be secret, but because words can create the illusion of progress. Talking about a goal often feels like achieving it. Your brain receives satisfaction before you've earned it, and slowly, your motivation disappears. Seneca believed your actions should always speak louder than your promises. Build first, talk later. Imagine an oak tree. Does it announce every inch of growth? No, it grows silently, year after year, until one day, its strength speaks for itself. Your life should be no different. Let people notice your discipline, not your declarations. Let your results create the conversation. Because real confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It quietly keeps working, while everyone else keeps talking. Remember, noise attracts attention. Silence builds greatness. Lesson 5. Silence defeats ego. The ego always wants the last word. It wants to prove that it's smarter, stronger, always right. But wisdom has no interest in winning every argument. Marcus Aurelius understood something remarkable. Your value isn't determined by how many debates you win. It's determined by the kind of person you become. Think about the people who constantly argue online, hours spent trying to convince strangers. What do they gain? Usually, nothing except frustration. The Stoics believed every unnecessary argument steals your peace, because ego asks, how do I defeat this person? Wisdom asks, is this worth my time? Those are two very different questions. The strongest people don't feel the need to prove themselves. Their confidence comes from within, not from applause, not from agreement, and certainly not from winning arguments. The quieter your ego becomes, the clearer your mind becomes. That's why intelligent people protect their energy instead of wasting it trying to impress people who were never willing to understand them. Lesson 6. Listen more than you speak. Most conversations fail for one simple reason. People don't listen, they wait for their turn to talk. Real listening is rare, and because it's rare, it becomes powerful. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak." That wasn't just philosophy, it was a strategy for life. When you truly listen, You notice emotions, intentions, hidden fears. You begin understanding people instead of judging them. Imagine sitting across from someone who's upset. Most people interrupt, offer advice, or defend themselves, but intelligent people remain silent first. They allow the other person to finish, because sometimes people don't need answers. They need someone who is willing to listen. Silence creates space, and in that space, trust begins to grow. The greatest leaders aren't remembered because they spoke the most. They're remembered because people felt understood. If you want influence, start by becoming a better listener, because the person who understands others will always have an advantage over the person who only talks about themselves. Lesson 7. Protect your energy. Every conversation has a cost, not money, energy. Most people don't notice how exhausted they become after arguing, complaining, or trying to impress others. The Stoics noticed. They understood. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Spend it wisely. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire every day. Thousands of voices surrounded him. Advice, criticism, praise, complaints. If he reacted to everything, he would have lost himself. Instead, he chose what deserved his attention and ignored everything that didn't. Imagine carrying a bucket of water filled to the top. Every unnecessary argument, every pointless debate, every negative person pokes another hole in that bucket. Slowly, your energy disappears. Not because life is difficult, but because you gave it away. Intelligent people protect their peace. They don't attend every battle they're invited to, because they know every yes to distraction is a no to something meaningful. The quieter your life becomes, the clearer your mind becomes, and a clear mind always makes better decisions. Lesson 8. Respond, don't react. There is a massive difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is instant. Response is intentional. Reaction is driven by emotion. Response is guided by wisdom. Most people react because they feel attacked. Intelligent people respond because they value control. Imagine someone insults you. A reaction says, "I'll prove them wrong." A response asks, "Does this deserve my attention?" That single pause changes everything. The Stoics believed real strength isn't controlling other people, it's controlling yourself. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay, not because time solves every problem, but because emotion fades and wisdom returns." How many mistakes could have been avoided if people had simply waited 5 minutes before speaking? Silence gives you that gift. It creates space between emotion and action, and inside that space, better decisions are born. The strongest minds don't speak first, they think first. Then they choose words that solve problems instead of creating them. That is why quiet people often appear wiser, not because they know more, but because they waste fewer words. Lesson 9. A quiet mind sees what others miss. Imagine standing beside a lake. When the water is calm, you can see straight to the bottom. But when the surface is disturbed, everything becomes unclear. The human mind works the same way. A noisy mind cannot think clearly. It jumps from one thought to another, one emotion to the next, one distraction to another. The Stoics believed clarity is born from inner silence. Marcus Aurelius often spent time alone, not because he disliked people, but because silence allowed him to think without interruption. The greatest decisions are rarely made in moments of chaos. They're made in moments of stillness. Most people fear silence, so they fill every empty moment. Music, social media, endless conversations, constant noise. But intelligent people understand something different. Silence is where ideas grow. It's where problems become clear. It's where wisdom speaks. If your mind is always full of noise, how will you ever hear your own thoughts? Protect moments of silence, because a peaceful mind sees opportunities that a distracted mind will never notice. Lesson 10. Quiet people win because they master themselves. People often believe winning means being louder, more aggressive, more visible. The Stoics completely rejected this idea. To them, the greatest victory was never over another person. It was over yourself. A quiet person who controls anger is stronger than someone who wins every argument. A quiet person who walks away from drama has already defeated the need for approval. A quiet person who listens before speaking usually understands what everyone else has missed. That is why silence becomes an advantage, not because silence is magical, but because it creates discipline. It teaches patience, it strengthens judgment, and it protects your peace. Marcus Aurelius didn't become respected because he demanded attention. He became respected because his actions spoke louder than his words. The world is already full of people trying to be heard. Become the person worth listening to, because influence doesn't come from speaking more, it comes from speaking with purpose. And when your words are guided by wisdom, people remember them long after the loud voices have disappeared. At the beginning of this video, I asked you a simple question. Why are the most intelligent people often the quietest? Now, you know the answer, because silence isn't the absence of confidence. It's the presence of control. Control over your emotions, control over your ego, control over your words, and ultimately, control over your life. Most people spend years trying to sound intelligent. The Stoics spent their lives trying to become intelligent. There is a huge difference. One chases attention, the other chases wisdom. Marcus Aurelius never tried to be the loudest man in the room. He focused on becoming the wisest. And because of that, people listened whenever he chose to speak. Remember this, the loudest voice may capture attention, but the calmest voice earns respect. Real intelligence doesn't interrupt. It doesn't compete. It doesn't desperately seek approval. It listens. It observes. It thinks. And then, when the moment is right, it speaks with purpose. Imagine how different your life would become if you stopped reacting to every opinion, every insult, every piece of criticism. Imagine how much energy you would save, how much peace you would protect, how much clearer your decisions would become. That's the hidden power of silence. Not weakness, not fear, but discipline. The discipline to speak only when your words create more value than your silence. From this day forward, before speaking, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Will it improve this moment? If the answer is no, choose silence, because silence has never destroyed a wise person, but careless words have destroyed countless lives. The Stoics understood that every word should have a purpose. Every sentence should carry weight. Every conversation should reflect your character. So don't measure your intelligence by how much you speak. Measure it by how wisely you choose your words. Because in the end, people won't remember how often you talked. They'll remember the impact of the few words that truly mattered. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe to the Stoic Edge. Every week, we explore timeless Stoic wisdom to help you master your emotions, strengthen your character, and build a mind that remains calm, no matter what life brings. Until next time, protect your peace, choose your words wisely, and remember, the strongest mind is often the quietest one.